Guru Kripa Kevalam. Namaste and welcome everyone to Satsang today. Sadguru Shri Muji Baba ki Jai. Oh, is it? Some soap. Is it watering now? Did the homework? Absent in class?
Absent in class.
What you see? Absent. That's okay. Absent is good.
Absent is good.
Present is good also.
Yeah.
Same homework every weekend. To remain conceptless, to remain open. Otherwise, we can keep talking about these things and they can become more and more knowledge that we are learning. But actually, what is it? What is it really? One thing. So, is it that the truth is missing? Is it that the truth is missing? No. Then what is it? Huh? Say it's okay.
Seemingly covered.
Seemingly covered up. Covered with what?
Thoughts and
Thoughts,
sensations and
sensation,
notions.
notion. Thought, notion, same?
Yeah.
Sensation, notion?
Not quite the same.
Not yet quite, maybe. So, the truth is not missing. What seems to cover it up or block the moon, as they say, is just whatever concept we have of it. You see? Whatever concept we have of it never represents this truth. Whatever the concept might be, yes or no?
Yes.
Can there be a concept which does?
No.
Sure?
Yes.
Whatever the mind is selling,
Yes.
whatever it might be, as real as it may seem, even if it seems to represent some true feeling or something that actually happened. Is there still a doubt about that? Can it ever represent the truth? Can any concept ever truly represent something that is reality? No. And where is the truth to be found? Here. Let's go with here for now. So truth is here. And no concept, no matter as glorious as it might sound, cannot capture this truth that is here. You see? Then, to have Satsang, to be in the company of truth, you see? Sat ka Sang, the company of the truth. Where do we need to go? Obviously, then we cannot go to the false representation. You see? And whatever concept that we might believe to be true, we see now that these are just false representations. So to be with the truth, cannot mean to hug the false. You see? You see? So to not give any false representation, the belief that it is true is more than enough, because the truth is just organically here. You see? Now what is missing? What is missing? Can you tell me something that is missing without inserting a notion of me, which itself now thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of times you have seen that there is no such me. You see? So without inserting this notion of me, can you point to something that is missing?
Knowledge, recognition.
Yeah. So if this is true, then we must be able to say, okay, what is here now? Just what is naturally here? If the recognition is missing, what are we recognizing now?
The untruth covering it.
Now where is it?
It is here, I can find it. No.
Then you are not recognizing. Then it's just a presumption. You see?
No.
So we have to speak now from just whatever we actually find. You see? So if we say that the untruth is naturally here, then what I am saying is not true. You see? What I am saying is that the truth is here. You see? And all seeming coverings, all seeming dust, all this seeming illusion actually has left you right here and now. You see? You see? But there is another voice which is saying, but it is here. You see? This is here. So what do you actually find? Do you find any evidence of this untruth?
The covering?
Yeah.
Because I cannot see the truth, so it's covering it.
Okay, so what can you see?
I know it's there, but I can't.
What can you see? Let me see if we can go together. No, we can walk together hand in hand. We see whether we check whether what you see, whether it's true that you don't see the truth. So what do you actually see? Yes, we can.
Silence.
Yes, this is good. So you see the silence, isn't it?
Mm.
Isn't it? So this you that sees the silence, you are aware of it or no?
I'm not aware of it, but I know there's something in the silence.
And yet it is you.
Yes.
Is it? So you are not unaware of it, because otherwise you would not be able to confirm that it is you. You see? It's just that you cannot perceive it. Isn't it? The struggle is just that we cannot perceive it. Is it? So this not finding is actually the finding. Okay, this is not just word games. Okay. This not finding, because I cannot find it perceptually, I cannot perceive it. You see? And yet I cannot deny that I am perceiving the silence, or I am perceiving the world, or whatever we can say. You see? So we did not find it using our senses, and yet it is clear that it is I. You see? So this clarity, independent of perception, you see, is the recognition of the self. You see? You will never recognize the self as an object. You see? You will never recognize the self through perception. You see? You will just look like this and you will see, I am witnessing, and yet I am not witnessing this I. You see? I'm not witnessing this eye, I'm not perceiving this eye, and yet I cannot deny it. How does that happen? You see? So this is what I would say, you are aware of it. You see? But if you are saying you are not aware of it, you are possibly speaking that you are not aware of it as a perception.
Yes.
You see? But actually you are aware that you are witnessing. You see? So this you that is witnessing, you see, to see that I am witnessing, that I am aware, you see, without a perception of it, or without just picking up a concept that I am aware, you see, is self-recognition. It is nothing else but this, you see. So if there is an idea that self-recognition implies any other byproduct or some other perception, it is not that. Those could be the fireworks on the side or not fireworks on the side, you see. So don't worry about those, you see. So that is why I have been asking, who perceives this hand? You see, you cannot perceive that one, and yet you cannot deny that one is you, isn't it? So this non-perceptual recognition, you see, which is beyond your senses, beyond anything the mind can fathom, is the only self-recognition. You see? See?
See, when you look, and then make is there, then first time I said, how to be a statue. Then I was aware. Then I know from where I was looking, which is not clear at all.
You knew from where you were looking.
Yeah, I know from where I'm looking.
Yes.
Unless that happens, in your presence, or with you help us and you push us there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you know from where you're looking.
Yeah.
And it always doesn't happen like that. Because this the habit to.
But can it happen now?
It can happen now.
So
But
forget about
perceiving,
always.
You are so caught up in perceiving.
I said to someone
But that
possibly
which is
asked me.
perceiving is not captured every time.
This is
I
the
can
thing.
tell you.
You will not be able to push the one which has a history, which has a story, into freedom.
You cannot. It can't have. You can't go to the past and say then I've been doing that.
You also the future.
And the future.
Okay, so past and future gone.
Yeah, gone.
Now what is there?
Now, but see, how long did I have to say?
Long is gone, no.
Huh?
Long is gone.
Long is
Past
gone.
and future is gone.
But I'm telling you, for those who have not, for those who are, that which is so evident has not become very clear. In your presence, by grace, it has become clear. But it is not happening all the time. I can tell you.
So
I have to make an effort. I'm seeing,
Yeah.
because caught up in perception,
Yeah.
caught up in perceiving,
Yeah.
content. That's what's happening.
So the self is recognizing the self. You see? The self is not in time. You see? So that's why when we want to keep something always, then we're already picking up the idea of somebody in time. You see, I know that what you're saying to you sounds very valid. I know that it sounds very valid, that this is how it is, this is what happens in time. I'm telling you, time is a fraud.
Yes.
There is no such thing as time.
At that time, there is no time.
No, not at that time. There is no... because if there was no time only at that time, there would be time.
Yeah, it looks like.
You see? Then there would be time if only there was no time at certain times. It's not riddles. So forget about time.
I have to say, awareness aware of itself.
Yeah.
Awareness aware of itself
Yeah.
is the highest accomplishment, and
Yet no accomplishment.
no accomplishment.
Yeah.
So awareness is aware of itself. So I'm not caught up in the content. I'm
Exactly.
not in the marketplace. I'm not seeing this, that. When I'm
Exactly.
seeing that,
And you're not caught up in time.
I'm not caught up in time.
Yes.
But it's not happening all the time.
See, what will it take to lose this notion of time?
You have to pick up a notion, yeah.
Is it? So when you say that it is not with me every time, or not my experience every time, what do you become in that story? You started by saying awareness is aware of itself. You see, now when you say it is not my experience every time, are you still speaking of awareness? Then
I'm talking about the play of consciousness. Going to the marketplace and seeing everything.
yes. So, are you in the play?
I'm not in the play. I'm aware of all that.
Are you in time?
No, I'm not in time.
Then what changes for you with time?
That doesn't change. But the attention is moving here, there, everywhere.
Attention is the mother of time in a way. You see, so that's what it's meant to do, give birth to time. So don't worry about that. You see, so are you caught up in it? Are you caught up in where attention goes? Can you be?
I'm in a state of hypnosis when I'm caught up with content. And
Who is this I? Awareness gets hypnotized?
No, only consciousness.
Consciousness gets hypnotized? Okay,
Consciousness-
say it gets hypnotized. What is the hypnosis?
The hypnosis is going towards a crime scene all the time.
That is what you're speaking of, attention.
Yeah.
Now, what is the hypnosis you're speaking of? The identity. It
Identity.
takes itself to be
Yes,
something that it is not.
Identity, yes.
Does it ever have any truth?
No.
So, if we keep saying that the untrue is a problem that we have to solve, then the untrue will be given more truth than it deserves, isn't it? Is it?
But I want to stay here.
This one is not you.
This one is not.
This one is, you see, the one that wants to stay is not the one that naturally stays,
Naturally says yes.
because you cannot want what you already have.
Yeah.
You see?
Yeah.
So now this, what you're taking to be your true voice is not your true voice. The one that wants to stay.
It's not my true voice.
You see? It is the voice of the made up one.
Mm.
You see? You bought a doll in the dollhouse. You gave it all these attributes and qualities and believed them to be true. You see? Now this doll wants to become God. What can we do to make it God?
Anantaji, here it's so easy, Here is it's so at home,
Yeah.
Nothing.
So stay here.
Effortless.
Stay
It
here.
is at home.
Stay here.
It's easily
Yeah.
at home.
Don't leave.
Outside is not like that. So many
Where
things,
outside?
Distracting,
So if I tell you and you hear it like a baby, that inside and outside are not true, will you hear it?
Yes.
You see? Because in all of these representations,
Hair from eat momos
yeah,
and my headphones stopped working.
you see? So the minute we introduce any notions, you see, which are in the realm of opposites, got it, missed it, inside, outside, true, untrue, you see, then again we seem to be caught. You see? Now I know that it can sound like I am denying what is your experience. It can sound like that I am denying what is your experience, but actually I am not denying your experience. I am denying your interpretation of your experience. You see? Because if this truth was that flimsy that it actually came and went because attention is here or there, then this truth would not be worth it. You see? If it came and went depending on the whims of attention, you see, then it would not be a worthwhile truth. You see? So this one that is aware, as you say, of awareness itself, you see, what change is it undergoing? You see? Bring your attention to whatever you like and see if this undergoes a change. Doesn't.
Easier.
See, you're still holding on to somebody who is owning this. See?
Yes.
This is the thing. And that one itself is just made up. So that one will always say, yes, yes, here it's easy, there it's not easy, this is what changes. You see? Yeah. And you laugh at this. You laugh at this because who is it referring to you as? You said for awareness nothing changes. Inside, outside, all of it is just sensations, appearances coming and going. Then for whom does it change?
It's made up one.
Now, what is your allegiance to this made up one? Had enough or no? Enough. Then forget it. Don't try to feed anything to this made up one. But what will happen when I leave? Hey, see? So, do you have allegiance to that one that will leave? You have allegiance to that one that is sitting here?
Nobody's sitting.
Nobody is sitting and nobody will leave. So then, this doubt, when it will come from the mind, but what will happen when I leave? That is talking about no one.
clarity is not enough. Sometimes there is so much clarity, I don't know what clarity
You
is.
see, clarity is not there now. Clarity is a state.
Clarity is a state.
You are not subject to state. Whether it is clarity or it is blurry, both are perceived, isn't it? Everything that is perceived is a state. You see, whether it's boom or zoom, you see, both are perceived. Don't make a preference of one over the other. Make no distinctions. No distinctions. Distinction means concept. Concept means conceptualizing mind. Conceptualizing mind means a false representation. That's what we started with. Can any concept truly represent what is? What distinction do you have to make? What's the discovery now? The truth is here or the truth is missing? Can the truth go missing?
The label itself creates.
The label itself does what?
Trying to call it truth or not truth.
Yes,
Itself takes
itself is a label. You see? Itself is a label. So, having seen through that, then that doesn't also bother us. You see? Having seen through that, then that also doesn't bother us. But you have a sense of what is being asked. You see?
Open and empty is easy.
Open and empty is easy. Yes. Okay, we accept that premise. then don't make anything difficult. Open and empty is the same as make no distinctions, is the same as to remain in the unborn, is the same as don't believe your next thought. It's all the same stuff, just put it different ways. Whatever seems natural, it's fine. The same as to remain in your notionless existence. It's the same as God now versus me now. All these pointers are the same. Tell me something which is true.
It is always here.
It's always here. Always here. Okay, so truth is always here, or is always here. You see? So is, because it just is. So what else could be needed now?
The absence of things.
No, it's not necessarily, confirm if this is what you're saying. It's not necessarily the absence of the appearance of thoughts. You see? It's just the absence of us treating them to be valid representations of reality, isn't it? So that is why we can inquire into them or surrender them. Whatever still feel like they are valid representations. You see? So how about we start with this one? You see, because I must have come to the absence of thoughts. Itself is also a thought. So we start with this one. You see, this one is gone. Then
I would like to stop believing in the thoughts.
yes. Okay, give me 3 that you want to stop believing in.
I already told you I am a human being.
One is I am human being. That's it. That should cover it actually.
It's the root. No?
Huh?
It's the root.
The root, yes, is the root. Is it? I amness is what we call being. To add anything on top of being, you see, is to create separation. You see? Because if you say you are just human being, then you are saying you are not the existence of space. You see, you are not the existence of everything else that you perceive. There is separation between you and the rest. You see? But being is this that is right now, is being. You see? So this beingness has no trouble. When we draw any line, you see, that makes separation. And it is conceptual. It is always conceptual. Now these concepts have been thrust on us. Been thrust on us in this play to these conditions have been believed so much that it can feel like when they show up again, it can feel like, yes, this is true, this is familiar. You see? And that's why it can feel like, yes, this really still means something. You see? So when this notion comes and we say, yes, this is true, we are saying that I know this. Is it? Saying that I know this. This is fact. I know this for a fact. Is it? But if you start examining those things which you think are facts, you see that you will struggle to find a single fact. So whether we look at it this way, who am I? Or can the perceiver be perceived? Is it? Is it? Or we remain open and empty. Is it? Both are the same, because in both cases truth is apparent. Is it? You only suffer from something that you think you know. Tried suffering without knowing anything? Suppose you had a best friend and you wanted to play a prank on this best friend just to make them suffer and laugh at their misery, like these game shows do. Is it? Could you do it? How would you do it?
You have to make them believe
Huh?
in something.
You have to make them believe, isn't it? Something. You have to make them believe something. Without that, you can't make them suffer. You can give them pain, but suffering cannot happen. For suffering, you need a notion. What is this April Fool's Day pranks? Or when we were growing up, we used to have these. Before there was caller ID, so you just call your friends and just pretend to be, somebody and say you need to go there with your ID for something. There's some whatever pranks you can come up with. If they don't believe it, they can't suffer. So you try to sell the story more and more, saying, but it's true, you have to, it's urgent, it is something. So the mind is like this prankster best friend. What is the prank? For me is the prank. The existence of the limited self is the greatest prank you pulled on yourself. The belief in the idea, the notion of the limited self is the greatest April Fool's Day joke you pull. But it depends on your belief. What is the Osho quote the other day somebody told me? Belief.
Believe in believing.
What does it say? The full thing so everyone hears?
I don't believe in.
No, somebody said to him, what did they say?
I forgot.
Okay, there was some interaction. But he said, I don't believe in believing. Nice. Now you have to suffer notionlessly. And if you succeed, tell me.
Did it.
Yeah, even that can be the notion. So many spiritual seekers are suffering from this notion. Suffer without a word. What happens? Sometimes in life, tears come. Without word they come. You see? What do we call them? Oh, happy tear. See? For what did Papaji say? To be happy you need nothing. But to be unhappy, you definitely need a thought. Tell me something which is not a notion. Is it the one that comes after but?
That I'm aware.
That you are aware? It's also a notion. At best, it's a pointer. You see? Even this is not the truth. Even the notion truth is not true. You see? At best, they are pointers. At best, they are thorns. So, fundamentally, the false, the con or the trick is this I thought, isn't it? Is it? The I thought. No, it's okay for now. Thank you. Does I have to refer to something? Say it to yourself. Say I. Who is it referring to? I. Who is it referring to? Or whatever is most primal in your language, you see, whatever language your mind speaks in, say I in that language. Who is it referring to?
One that's making the sound.
Huh? Huh? Who's making the sound? Who's making the sound?
What to say? I.
What is making? What does it mean, making? Making means cause and effect.
Yes,
Is it? Like a production process. What are the raw materials for this making? Ah. If all is I, then the product is I. But we see this, like even these ideas that something is making something else. Is it? Where does it come from? See, everything is in time. All of these notions. Dear Ananta-ji, there is a kind of certitude felt in the process that truth always embraces me. A conviction growing day by day, any alertness to be kept around this. Yes, let the truth embrace you so much that there is no me left. Take a dip in this Ganga so much that you don't come out. That the one who presumably took the dip does not actually return. You see? Because the truth actually has nothing for this me. You see? The truth has nothing for this me. So let it embrace you completely and see if you can let go of this embrace. Is it even possible for the truth to leave? It's just that we stop giving credence to the pretense of falsity. We stop believing in the notion of the me. You see? Your only struggle will be when you want to hold both hands. You see? Or you want to stand on both truth and me. So, anything that needs any sort of knowing to be kept alive, you see, let go of that. Reality cannot go once all notions of reality go. Reality cannot go. But what goes once all notions go? That is called false. What notion are you scared of losing? I. My life. It's a hilarious idea, no? Actually.
Big one.
Big joke. My life. Either you don't know anything about this Maya, we don't know, life, we don't know. And yet as a combination we seem to know. We looked, we can't find. Life, what is life? Can anyone tell me what is life? You see? That we don't know. But when you put it together, my life, then it's just become that fairy tale, no? That story. It started there, then it became this, then it became that. I wonder what will become next. This is what I wanted to become. All of these stories come. You see? But deconstructed, pulled apart, it's nothing. You see? It just sounds. This Maya is who? This I is who? It's just a sound. It's nobody. You see? It's nobody. It is just a noise. I. And yet so much conditioning has been put on top of this. I am this, I am that, I like this, I don't like that. So it seems to have become the protagonist. So then what we try and do is we try to move it away from the false I and try to bring it to the true I. You see? But to bring it to the true I actually means to drop all references to I. As long as we still have this notion that I was the false, now I am the absolute or truth or something like that, that is still a version, you see. It's still only a representation. You see?
When Guruji leads us
Yeah.
To the isness,
Yeah.
he says, are you separate from
Yeah.
this?
Yeah.
And we say no because genuinely we're not.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't feel I'm separate
Yeah.
from this. So when he said, when he say you,
Yes.
like, is it separate from you?
Yeah.
No, I'm not separate
Yes.
from
Yes.
this.
And yet that I, which is not separate, where would you point to that?
And
Would you say it is bound or unbound, limited,
No, no,
unlimited?
no.
Nothing. You see? So it loses all references. See?
It's true. I still uses I, the I feeling, because I feel it's me. It's not separate from what I am.
Yes. So then is it a feeling? Let's dig in. So let's see, is it a feeling?
This which is always here is kind
What
of.
do you mean by that? Let's look, it's okay.
Yes.
So what is always here?
I cannot say it's not a physical.
It's not a physical feeling. Is it a feeling of any sort, like with a quality?
I would say that if I had to put a quality on, I would say to be aware, or to know.
To know, you see? But to know, you see? Is it like,
Not a
does it have
breath.
any taste? You see?
No. It's
Then-
not
yes.
a mental knowing.
Yes. So this undeniable, which we said you cannot, unperceivable but undeniable. You see? Now this, does it have any notion of absoluteness?
No.
Does it have any notion of anything, like any, does it?
No, it's it's true that I couldn't even say I.
You see, you can't even say I about it, and yet you cannot deny that it is you. Like if you had to use some term, then that it is I, or it is, you see, it comes naturally like that.
Yes.
So, but even that, you see, is like a stretch, because you have to say something about it. So it's a stretch. So you have to say, okay, this is, you see. That's why so many actually struggle, because you see there is no I there, but then I have to say, but aren't you witnessing? You see, then you say, like, who's witnessing? They say there is no I there. You see, because we feel like we are still representing the ego as I or something. You say, but then if I said it is the third party information, you say no, it's direct. You see, so it is you, and yet this you does not have a reference. You see, and does not have any. It is not making any distinction between even witnessed and witnessing. All of these also then merge in that, isn't it? All of these, there are no distinctions left in this. Is it? So it is not saying no, unreal, real. It's not saying like that. These were tools that we use, provisional truths that we use to get us to see this. That makes no distinction. Is it? So any conceptual representation of this I does not match up to the truth of it. You see? So now you say that yes, it does not refer to this or that, and yet it is undeniable. You see? So that's what I am also saying. Yeah, you see? That's what I am also saying. That it does not refer to this, that anything in our intellectual conceptual boundaries, you see, does not actually capture it, and yet it is. Now, suppose the task was the inverse. You see? So suppose that when you refer to I, you're supposed to refer to the truth. How would you do it? Like represent the truth as I. How would you do it?
Just by being nothing special to do, you know.
Yeah. Is that a true representation of I? The same one that we were speaking of? So can the level of activity or inactivity in this appearance lead to some false or true representation of I?
No, I feel that everything that is going on is part of this. You know?
Yes, so there is no distinction.
Yes.
Now if you had to refer to it, the truth one, how would you do it? You see? You've seen all the false claims. I am body, I am mind, I am good, I am seeker, I am husband, I am wife, I am this, I am that. All of these we've seen are false, ephemeral ones that come and go. Now, what is the true representation of it? You see?
Just
I am is true. Huh?
What is?
Huh? Huh?
What is true.
What is true?
What is it?
What is am?
Me.
To be. You see? But this am is also just like I am husband, I am wife, also comes and goes. Does it? Yes, it does.
I choose to be.
Or everything else comes and goes within it, but it's also a lie ultimately.
Yeah, I just choose to be these things, roles, and
Yes.
and I'm none of these.
And none of these.
I could
Yes.
be, but I'm really not.
Yes.
Or I could
So,
not be.
so, yes, that's how it's usually done. It is defined in the negative.
Yeah.
You see, oh, not this is the usual neti neti way to point to I. But what is a positive definition, positive reference to I? Actually, if you discard I am also, then there is not much else you can say. You see, that's what I'm saying. Though it has no reference then. You see, when you don't refer to I as anything at all, then I is the truth. You see, once you make a representation of I, even in the most primal I amness, you see, we got into the realm of the comings and the goings.
Then you step into the golden cage.
Oh
As
yes,
soon as you say I am.
yes.
But if you want to be the sky, then
Forget about I am.
Yeah. It's just subtle and
You see,
everything.
Papaji said to one, who is the one that wakes up? You see? And this one said, I wake up. He was referring to the sense I am waking up. You see? Papaji said, don't touch that I. Now, don't touch the one that woke up. Don't touch the one that will go away in sleep. Now which distinctions can survive?
I think the label I itself creates some kind of, the way
Yes.
we are used to
Yes, yes.
use the term I is,
Yes.
when you say I, it's created separation
Creates,
already.
all this baggage comes with it, like with any term.
Yeah.
You see, we say banana, and all our experiences with bananas come. You see, like the taste was like this. Last time I had it was like that. I used to like it as a kid. You know, all these kind of things. You see? So because this I is so charged with identity, you see, when you make a reference, it can seem like, oh, it's back. You see, it's limited nature. You see? So it's a supercharged term in itself. You see? But it's losing its charge. And satsang, as you're seeing that there is no such limited entity, then it'll become as playful, as light.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
On one side, you want freedom. Okay, this one wants freedom. On the other side, you don't want to give up on your insecurities. Like you want to have a secured life. You know, like you want money, you want family, you want to get married, whatever. How is it possible to have both, or like this one wants freedom,
Yeah.
okay, but you don't want to give up on your like you still want to play it safe, you know? Like okay, I don't know if I'm making sense.
It's good, it's good. I can understand what you're asking. So,
Like you're still not giving up on your
yes,
insecurities,
Yes.
or you want to have a secured life.
yes. So, what will give you the most security? So, if you have a house, secure. What if earthquake comes? Is it still insecure? What can you have that will give you the most security?
Right now, it feels like you should have a stable, you know, you should be employed, you should be paid well. But, like, there were times when you give up, like, okay, let everything just happen. It still happens, you know, like,
Yeah.
but still you don't want to give up on that. Like,
Yeah. What if I said that freedom is to not take a position this way or that way? You don't have to give up. You don't have to hold. Is it? That's a bit like wobbly for the mind. You see? Like, tell me, should I or should I? Like that. You see? Because these are the opposites that it understands. You see? But somewhere you're hearing me when I say it is neither. Neither hold, nor give up. You see? So you stay like that. Let this object move around, do whatever it has to. If it is going to, if it doesn't, it doesn't. Possible or not?
That's a very easy thing, like, when you don't hold on to positive or negative.
Yes.
When you're,
I'm glad you say it's easy.
But then you tend to catch either the positive or the negative. Like,
Then it's not so easy.
yeah, this is not easy.
Okay. So, don't pick up either position that you have to renounce or you have to get. You see? You're naturally like that here and now.
Meaning, what comes. I mean, whatever is meant to happen will happen.
Yeah, if that helps, it's fine.
That's how it
You see, but that's also like a form of grasping, no? In a sense that it's like saying, yes, I will give up on it, but as long as you tell me, it'll be fine. If there was no guarantee of it working out or not working out, it's okay. Then it's okay. You see? There is no guarantee. You see? Because then we can have, otherwise we have an idea of what is fine and what is not fine. And actually in our life we can't even recognize what is good for us and what is not. You see? We never recognize.
This doership is very strong.
Yes, that is this position, no? That I have to do, you see, because so my life can be secure, so my life can be this way or that way. And I know that at your age, everybody's pressure must be about that also. I can understand. Yes, we all grew up with this thing.
So, can I share something?
Yeah, of course.
It's more personal.
If you like, we are broadcasting, but if you like now or if you like, you know.
It's okay. But like someone told me, it's there.
Okay.
And it's that, you're a very restless and agitated person. That's the reason you're finding satsang peaceful. You're there's just that's the reason you find satsang.
Because you are restless and agitated,
uh,
that's why you find satsang peaceful. And they are
very peaceful.
peaceful as it is. So, is it like that? What is the contrast?
I don't know.
So, if you were already peaceful, then you would not find satsang peaceful.
Yeah, I know. So it's something nice, peaceful. Peace is something nice. And that's why you're liking it. It's comforting,
Hmm.
and that hit me really hard because
Which part? I'm not getting. What is the? Is it like a put down in a way, or what is it? Is it like?
it's like you go to satsang just to comfort, it's nice, like a holiday, but and freedom doesn't happen to everyone, so just go. That kind.
They have some this thing, credibility in this area, or they're just randomly speaking?
So they are in some spiritual
Yeah.
thing, and there it's more of mind, how to make your mind strong.
Mm.
And whatever I say is like a big opposition.
Opposite.
And how can you drop your mind, That's the only thing you live with. For me, it's like,
And the mind that they are speaking of is the same as what we speak of, because many times the debates come because of how the term is used also. Is it? Because the Buddhism, for example, has capital M mind, which they refer to as pure consciousness or the beingness itself. You see? So, but when they are trying to make a stronger mind, they're trying to what? Manifest and things using mind or this kind of.
Father, it's like I'm very stupid. I'm telling you that awakening doesn't happen to everyone. Okay,
Everyone.
it's only the chosen ones who
Ah.
get awakened.
So, what's the odds? Percentages?
So
Once you did like that, no? Is that if the odds are 0.1%, which is pretty small odds, no? It doesn't happen to everyone. 1 in 1,000. 0.1 is 1 in 1,000. So what is 7 billion divided by 1,000? Who's good at math? It's a pretty big number. Is it?
So we are happy.
Yeah, 7 million or something. No?
Yeah,
Should
7
be.
million.
7 million. Why can't you be 1 in 7 million? So even if it is 0.01, it's 700,000, 7 lakhs. You see, you can be 1 in 7 lakhs. No? Even if it's 0.001, you see, then it's 70,000. You have a chance in 70,000. No? How many people are in satsang right now? In this moment, right now? Can't be more than 70,000. Everywhere in the world, at this very moment. You see? So this is your chance. See, Guruji talks about this. He says, when you hear that freedom is not for everyone, and you hear that it's just 1 in 1,000 or 1 in 10,000, instead of saying, but then it's impossible for me, you say, why can't that one be me? You see? So what is the criteria of these chosen ones? I feel like if they are open, if they are humble, if they are not so egoistic, not so sure that what they know is true, this would be very good criteria. Is the ones who are most certain are the ones that are least likely certain about how things are, that they have to be this way or that way. You cannot get it. You see, so much certainty is there. And what you're saying is actually very unfortunate, because most spiritual movements people go, but they don't have the sense that, you see, if you go for Ashtavakra Gita class, it is not the sense that the sage is talking about reality of me. It is from the sense of, if I keep hearing this, then maybe after 10, 20 lifetimes I might have a chance. See? So, what the sage is saying, immediate, right here and now, he's speaking of you. You are freedom itself. You see? So, that is why having a master helps. So, if 10,000 people came and told you something, and a master comes and tells you something, what would you believe? You know? The ones who are giving you advice to how to have a better life, how to be free from suffering, then they must themselves be free from suffering to give you that advice.
They are completely stuck in something.
Then,
All messed up.
yeah. So those who are very much stuck in suffering also enjoy giving a lot of advice to others.
It's like, no, this is how it's meant to be, okay? This is the life. You have to suffer. Or it's like,
And I have met these kind of concepts very often.
and they're very like strong, you know, like sometimes it's like, oh, maybe they are true, but it goes off like.
It's like the mind. The mind speaks with so much authority that we end up buying it, you see. But the thing is, once you start seeing through the tricks of it, and you don't have to get into that battle at all, that who's doing better in their life. You see? You don't have to get into that paradigm at all. You see? You see? So, because it can happen, because our mind will come and say, but they don't know what they're talking about. I am doing the right thing. You see? So, and then we can get into some sort of a spiritual arrogance also. Like we were talking about the other day. You see? So, presume that this is the first step. You see? But this is where our heart belongs at the moment. You see? Don't have to think that this is some final stage in evolution and I'm going to escape the cycle of birth and death. All of these things can also become very potent concepts for the spiritual ego. You see? So, don't have to believe that you're better off than your friends or anything like that. You see? Just, it's what your heart is drawn to. You see? It's just what your heart is drawn to. And what feels right in your heart at the moment. Because you're not trying to win or lose or anything like that. It's not that rat race at all.
So all the conditioning comes because I keep having these discussions with the person. I just tell her, look, whatever it is, we've had the grace of having you with us. That's it. That's it. Just leave it there.
What did she say?
I mean, okay. Then what about,
I'm kidding.
What about
Work
going
and
to different temples?
Oh, okay.
Temples. And so suddenly, when we are in the Sai groups, right, you get those messages of their Swami has materialized, Vibhuti, and this and this. And so when she tells me that, I just sense that, oh, all those cool things are happening. I just tell her, these are, we should be happy that we have someone with us. That's it. Rest, you just don't understand. Just leave it.
Let me put it this way for this question. If somebody said to me that I will give you the best that this world has to offer in terms of everything, best things that this world has to offer, but you take back the burden of ego mind, you see, this burden of selfishness back again, there's nothing that can make me take that offer. There is memory here of how that used to be, how life used to seem so oppressed and limited under the instructions of this mind, do this, don't do that, what does this one think of me, how could they behave like that, this was the center of life, everything was just like me, like that, you see? And somebody says, I'll give you $1 billion, a palace in Hawaii or something like that, you see? And you just live on the beach whole day, but you just take this ego back. You see, live like that, but with all the great stuff. No way. No way. See? If somebody said to me that to keep this openness, to keep this freedom, you see, you have to go live in the smallest slum in Mumbai or something like that. I'd say when. Let's go, it's fine. So this is what, in a way, what Guruji says. Nobody that finds this regrets it, and wants something else, that you rather give me that instead. If I just had this. If you try to make a deal like that, you couldn't convince me with all the good stuff that the world has to offer. You see? You couldn't convince me. This, that, whatever is there. So that shows you, it shows you that irrespective of what shows up through our senses, you see? Fundamentally that's what it is. No? What is the experience you will taste through your senses? That's all that all of this play is about. You see? Then that is not so important. You see? To have peace of mind, to have contentment, you see? To have the Sadguru's presence with you all the time. You see? These things cannot be bought. These things cannot be replaced. You see? I could have the best things, but what will I do? You see, will I get into all these super spiritual siddhis and all of these superpowers and things like that? What will it give me? You see? If that oppression of the mind is still there, nothing tastes good. Everything is insipid. Everything is very. So. I don't feel like there's ever been any sage who has said, no, take this freedom away, exchange it for so much money and so many possessions and so much materialistic benefit or something like that.
So the egoic mind goes, and the mind which is there now is a large, creative, much more
open, is it not open, just very intuitive, just very
loving,
not
wishing good.
Yeah, actually blessing everything, yes, these kind of things. So that oppression of the mantra, which is what's in it for me, you see, that goes away. And this, we can feel like our whole life is about that, to get something for this me. But actually once you lose this idea, what's in it for me, you will find so much openness. You find, I don't want to speak too much about it, because then you'll say, but only when I have all that stuff, then I'm free. That kind. Start putting the cart before the horse, you see. So, but sometimes I have to say like that, that if a genie came, or the devil came, or a deva came and said, this is what I'll give you, you pick up your selfishness again, and this is what I'll give you in return. I couldn't. I wouldn't exchange it for anything.
I think even a lot of us don't, and me too, don't realize the how great it is.
Huh?
How great it is.
How great?
How great it is.
Great it is.
Being in your grace. It's like that Guruji said a story about the celestial chant.
It's all His grace, all His grace.
Few friends where they don't understand. In my mind, I just say that, look, you just heard their name, that's enough for you. It's heard Moody's name or something. When the time is right, it will.
Okay, I'm just going to dive in a few places in the chat. There are quite a few messages that I have. But, let's see what shows up now. Father, is there something wrong with staying in bed all day, every day? No, there's nothing right or wrong in it. Right or wrong does not apply to this kind of unfolding, you see. So you don't have to have any sort of guilt if there's no life force in the body and it's not moving and it's just on the bed all day. You see? That's how it is, you see. But don't also have this idea that it is something right. You see, it is neither right nor wrong. It is just what it is. It's not good or bad. It's just how it is unfolding. You see, because once you decide this is this way or that way, then we become closed. So you remain open. You see, today it is in bed all day, tomorrow it could be running on the grounds. We don't know really. So don't take any positions about this unfolding. The waves are flowing like the waves are meant to flow. Good. Thank you for choosing the grace of Guruji's blessing and sharing as you do. Thank you, my dear. Father, so happy just knowing nothing at all. Very good. So only now I understand what Guruji meant by this. That's good. Love you, Father. Are you well? Send something. Mostly I'm well. I had a bit of a little bit of some fatigue yesterday, but today I'm quite fine. A deeper sense of awareness is felt. No concept, just life flowing. At times, a kind of conceptualization enters the inquiry, even on non-verbal level, trying to direct emotion subtly, but even this movement disappears into emptiness. At last getting convinced that the emptiness wins nevertheless, and it can accommodate everything, anything in it. Yes. Good. This time I was just looking through something and I found that these notes that we had made during the Ashtavakra Gita days, and these were remember the clues that we had put together? I feel like it's helpful to reiterate from time to time. So I had saved it as the master keys to freedom. So we said, recognize that which is the one witness of all things, the all-knowing awareness, beyond just percepts and concepts. That which is the one witness of all things, the all-knowing awareness, beyond just percepts and concepts. That's why it's to recognize that. It is not to learn these as concepts. You see, at best these are pointers. And this is all from various verses of the Ashtavakra Gita. We found all the Vedanta clues in that.
There is one transcript that Anaya made with all the clues. I emailed it to you a few days back.
Okay, this should be the same actually. Let's do that which remains unchanged, that which remains unchanging, cannot be enhanced or diminished, and is forever untouched. That which remains unchanging, cannot be enhanced or diminished, and is forever untouched. 3. That which is beyond limitations or boundaries of space, which which is the shoreless ocean, that which is beyond limitations or boundaries of space, the shoreless ocean. Also, this shoreless ocean is not spatial, okay? So don't make any imagination about some vast spatial three-dimensional space or something like that. It is beyond these spatial references. That which can only be found in the now is not subject to time. 5. That which does not come and go and is beyond birth and death. 6. That which has no desires or aversions and is beyond attachment. 7. That which is the one doer and experiencer, beyond all concepts of individual action, inaction, and suffering. 8. That which is beyond separation and union. 9. That which cannot be known or described in concepts, judgments, or inferences. 9. That which cannot be known or described in concepts, judgments, or inferences. 10. That which is a direct insight beyond any phenomenal perception, your only non-phenomenal experience. That which is a direct insight, but this insight is not a phenomenal or conceptual notion, it is your non-phenomenal experience. That which is the source of all that is manifest in time and space and is all pervasive. It is the source which itself is causeless. 12. That which as being plays with the pretense of being the ego only through identification. 13. That which is discovered by following the guidance of the Sadguru, which is your own divine presence. 14. That which is beyond the states of waking, dream, and dreamless sleep. So, of course, quite a bit of it is reinforcing repetitively in a way, but these are the fundamental pointers available in Vedanta, actually in all spirituality in a way. And it's not that you have to become a master in all of these pointers or something like that, or you have to remember them. It's not even that, you see. It's just that as you're reminded to look beyond, because if you look at any of these pointers, you will see that our mind cannot really fathom what it is pointing to. So that's what happens in all of these spiritual teachings, that the pointers take you beyond these limited notions of yourself. And once you're beyond this limited mind, then it is clear that the truth is just apparent. You see, to the mind it isn't, but to you it always is. Thank you all so much for being in Satsang today. Sadguru Shri Muji Baba ki Jai.
Sadguru Shri Ananta Ji ki Jai.
Guru Kripa Kevalam.